Prince, the Nightmare Ariola, and you're watching Mission Boxing Today on YouTube.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? So, just want to do a follow-up to the video I dropped yesterday about Charles Martin possibly making a comeback. And there's some things I didn't address in the video. So I'm going to just make one real quick. Like I said in that video, yes, that, Charles Martin effort wasn't what we wanted it to be. Now, let me get to that in detail. Now, people are saying, yeah, Mr. Boxer, it's not that he lost, that some people don't want to see him fight again. It's the way he lost. Fair enough. Some people feel as if he quit. Some people feel as if he laid down. He was smiling, trying to time the 10 count just in time to jump up and say, hey, I beat the count. Fair enough, because that's what I saw too. I also think it was more of just him, not so much of just being hurt, knocked out in a drag out fight, but I really think the punch was coming so fast he couldn't see him. They were hurting him enough to put him down. He just didn't know what hit him. And then sometimes when people smile, sometimes I've been around, athletes before, played, ball and stuff in college. So I've been around a lot of athletes, man. And some guys, when they're nervous, they just have nervous energy and they start smiling. And I think he was nervous on the basis of just he couldn't believe. I just think he couldn't believe what was going on, the way it was happening, how easy he was hitting the floor. I think that rattled him a little bit. All right. But as far as you don't want to see him again, and that's fine. People don't have to watch this guy fight. But for me, why I like to give a guy like this a second chance, because there's been a lot of guys that probably not in the same fashion as Martin went out. But there's been guys who had some embarrassing moments, and not just being knocked out cold. I'm talking about just some embarrassing moments that when they came back the second time, it made them better fighters. Again, not the same fashion as Martin, but embarrassing moments. Whether they're not embarrassing to you or not, doesn't matter. But to the fighter themselves, where they feel like they got to come back and redeem themselves. They don't want to be looked at like this. Example, Vitaly Klitschko, one of the best to do it, in my opinion. That fight he had against Chris Bird. Again, it wasn't like the Joshua Martin fight, but the fact that he was up on the cards, and then he said he had a, shoulder was hurt, his shoulder injury. He sat on his stool. To Vitaly, and I've read old articles that it was one of the worst moments in his professional career, that he sat on his stool and, as we will say, he quit. Whether the shoulder was hurt or not, he didn't want to fight anymore. Whether he was up on the scorecards or not, he didn't want to fight no more. Not until, 3 years later, when he got in there with Lennox Lewis, he was literally ready to die in that ring that night, man. His face was falling off. I mean, his skin was falling off his face. He was literally ready to die. And I think that fight with Bird brought that side of him out in that Lennox Lewis fight. And that went down as a loss on his record. Right? And he was fighting the ref and the doctors to continue. Like, Vitaly wanted nothing more but to keep fighting that night. Whether he would have caught Lennox. I had him up on the scorecards when the stoppage happened. I had Vitaly up. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is, had it not been for that Bird situation, who knows what Vitaly would have did in that fight? Who knows if he would have reacted the same, not knowing, you know what, I ain't quitting this time. I don't give a damn if my skin falls completely off my face and I'm fighting with my damn skeleton showing. Who knows how he would have reacted had that Bird situation not happened? People say it's the worst thing they've ever saw in their life. It's like, well, we don't even have to go that far, man. Bruce Seldon, to me, put up a way worse performance than Charles Martin did when he fought Mike Tyson. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And Tyson's one of my favorites. But I'm just going to be honest with you, man. That shit with Bruce Seldon, it made Charles Martin look like he went out on his shield. You know what I mean? So it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, man. So I won't take it that far. Again, I'm not trying to compare Charles Martin and say he's an all-time great, but there's been situations that have happened to all-time greats where it's very embarrassing. Big George Foreman, another one of my favorite heavyweights of all time. He's one of my top 5 favorite heavyweights of all time. A lot of people thought he could have got up when Ali put him down. I've heard a lot of fighters talk about this. Even I heard Floyd Mayweather talk about it, that he thought that Foreman could have got up and he just quit. He just laid there and quit. Foreman himself said, I could have got up, but I was just mentally beaten. You know what I mean? Like, that's embarrassing. Sitting there and just getting counted out when you know you can possibly get up, but you just mentally don't want to get up. That's embarrassing. Again, Charles Martin is no George Foreman. Not even up to that point of Foreman's career. But Foreman had a chance to redeem himself. You know what I mean? So, it's Martin's first loss. Now, if he does this shit again, gets in there, lays down, try to time the count, smiling and all that, then you can say, all right, man, when times get rough for you, you're just going to lay down and start smiling. Then, for me, I can say as a fan, okay, I'm kind of cool on Charles Martin. You know what I mean? But his Joey Daweko win, and the reason why I gave Martin more of a shot to compete with AJ in that fight, from things I've seen, man, that when he fought Joey Daweko, yes, Daweko's not this huge world beater, none of that, but Daweko's like a 12-time national champion here in America. He has good fundamentals, good skills, tough Philly kid, short. You know, he doesn't have a bodybuilder's physique, but the kid knows how to fight. Martin dominated him. I thought that was impressive when I watched that fight. When he fought, what's the kid? Glendy Hernandez. I think Hernandez was undefeated when they both fought. Tricky guy, I believe he's southpaw. Tricky dude, good boxing skills. Not a world beater, you know, but enough for where he can possibly upset another prospect like himself. He had a chance, and Martin looked good in that fight. The Glazkov fight, we know it didn't go the way we wanted it to. Glazkov messed up his knees or whatever. His knee buckled and messed up, you know, had a nasty injury. But up until that happened, Martin was being patient, using his jab, trying to find a home for that left hand. He was doing what he had to do to try to find his range. They were still filling each other out when that happened. So, yes, the effort against AJ was piss poor. Yes, he did just sit on the canvas, man, and try to time the count and then jump up. And yes, he did all that. But just as a man, let's just give him another shot, man. Just see what he can do. Even Riddick Bowe, I was watching the trilogy with Bowe and Holyfield. And it's funny because the build up to that first fight, everything that's being said about Martin, he's fat, he's lazy. Even Holyfield called him a quitter. This before they fought, I guess, just from being in training camps and just knowing of Riddick Bowe. I guess he would hack it sometimes in training camps or in sparring sessions. So Evander was calling him a quitter, but he went in there and he beat Evander that night. So had we followed this same logic, he would have never got a second chance at anything. People thought he was a quitter before he even got his title shot. You know, but I'm just not ready to just give up on people after one bad performance, whether they go in there and get sparked out one round or where they go in there and lay down. Like I said, if he makes a history of this, then we can say, all right, man, enough for you. Like, you're really going in there and just laying down and not giving it any effort at all. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens when he comes back, man. Only he can fix this. And again, he doesn't have to come back and get a huge win. He can come back and lose and still gain the respect of fans. Like, he can come back and let's say he fights, this is just hypothetical. What if he comes back and fight Joseph Parker? They fight. Let's say him and Parker fight and they have a war for 12 rounds. Parker pulls it out, but they had a war. You're going to respect Charles Martin. He'll earn that respect back. So I'm not expecting him to come back and be a top 10 guy, but I am expecting him to come back and try to redeem some of what he lost on that fight night with Anthony Joshua, man. Because just as an athlete, you don't want to go out like that or be remembered like that. But only he can fix this, so it's up to him to come back and show you what he has. Just getting this out there. I'm out.